Hi Lina, this about kibbutz is really interesting. There on the Wikipedia there is a lot to read about it, but the reality is that it's a little bit long, and there are some videos on YouTube. I haven't seen them um, really thoroughly. Only I have skipped some parts, and I think that I still don't understand them at all, right? And it's really interesting. Well, you I as well I'm mixing what I have read from you, the your first podcast, and some things that I have seen over there on YouTube. um I think that it's a really good idea. They have been raising a really good um philosophy, right, of living, right, which is a cooperativism, mutualism, right. But there I have there are you have mentioned on your podcast that it's the kind of cooperativism is different than the usual concept that we have of it, right. Well, you there I have seen, both by what you have said and some things that I have read over there, that they had a kind of decline in a moment, right. um and well, I there is something that mostly pays my attention, and I think that it's something why they have changed a little bit, why they have failed, is something that you mentioned here, is the division of labor. Let me read what you have mentioned here. At the beginning of the country's building and the state's foundation, it was very useful and important issue. It was a very useful and important issue. The main reason is the so-called division of labor, and plus the common way of life in the kibbutz. Um, okay, I understand. I understand there is a kind of lifestyle, common lifestyle. I guess that over there is a kind of of community, but I there are some things that I'm still not sure about. Um, you well, have you lived, Lina, in a kibbutz? Have you lived in a kibbutz? Um, what happens, for example, I guess that, well, there are some things that perhaps had happened that have made this idea fail a little bit. perhaps there is a detail on the division of labor, right? Um, perhaps is there, for example, how do how do the kibbutz generate their incomes, right? I I'm I'm not sure about that. How do they? Yeah, I guess that they're a kind of 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 perhaps it's a kind of cooperative, and a cooperative enterprise. Perhaps um, it's it's really a a huge topic. I guess it's a huge topic, but it paid a lot my attention. It paid a lot my attention. Well, you have written some things here, but well, I don't want to overwhelm you, Lina. I don't want you overwhelm you um, to pushing you to explain lots of details, right? But it's a really interesting and intriguing topic for the rest of the world, right? I guess that it's not it's a little bit complex to understand, because we haven't um, seen it. And basically, well, there are some documentaries, but not in English. In Spanish, I saw in that there are no documentaries in English. And well, I guess that I rather pick this information from here, from you, than checking it in on documentaries. um I want to specify, be more specific in what I'm not sure about. Okay, I'm not sure about how do they generate their incomes. Are there a kind of community enterprises? Because outside the kibbutz there is capitalism, right? So how do they generate their incomes? How do they hand out? How do they hand out their incomes? How do they uh, make an exchange with the outside world? Um, how do they raise children, for example? How do they raise children? Um, for example, I'm thinking that, for example, in our capitalist mindset, our children, the children of a couple, are children of a couple, right? But it's but perhaps, and in a more community mindset, perhaps children of a couple are children of the community, right? Something like that, perhaps. um I'm I would really like to know a little bit more about it. But I don't want to overwhelm you, Lena, at all, right? Because I guess that it's not easy to know these details, and it's not easy to express them in English, either, right? And well, But well, it's this is, I guess that, well, this is the main reason here is to express ourselves in English. I don't want to overwhelm you, Lina, at all, right? Because I know that it's not easy, and I guess that, well, you have raised this topic on your podcast, but I'm not really sure that you if you have lived in a kibbutz, right? I guess that you are talking about it from outside one of those, right? But it's really interesting as well, right? So perhaps we can continue. You can we can continue with this topic, but it's not mandatory, right? It's not mandatory. I can, if everyone if everyone wants to deepen on something, it's there is a lot of work to do to make a research about it, right? So, well, I want to thank you for raising this really interesting topic, Lina. Kibbutz in Israel. Okay, that's all for now.